best part of being a carpenter is it is very varied. So one day I can be pitching a roof, and then the next day I can be fitting a kitchen. So that's the best part of being a carpenter. Is I've got a lot of variety, which I need. I think you need, because I've been 30 odd years I've been a carpenter. If you was doing exactly the same thing every day, I think you would struggle to do it for that long. No rads, it just all comes out the floor.
Yes, yeah.
Robert Overington is a contracted carpenter and has been so for about 30 years. His work is to make foundations and buildings for other people's businesses, storage and even homes. His work allows him to go all over the country and build things that will tailor to other people's lives.
Well, it changes as the years roll on, but now it's just a way of earning money. Before I used to enjoy it a lot more. Still enjoy it, but not quite as much as I used to. It's a way of earning money, earning a living. I mean, if I could change what I do, I would, but I don't know what I could do, but overall it's not too bad. Is the skip coming today, or?
Yeah, first thing this morning.
And what does she want to save? This one?
She was on about putting that out there, but if it won't go out there, it won't go out.
Yeah, I think it will, and we'll just put it to one side.
Alright.
Because obviously the other stuff I'll just chuck straight into the skip. Do you want to keep anything else?
Yeah, he's a good chippy, basically. Since he's left school, he's been a chippy, so obviously one of the top in his trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think he made a good decision choosing what job he has?
Yeah, it's one of the cleaner jobs. For example, I became a welder after school, and it's not that healthy. Mind you, in some cases, nor Bob's job.
So what does that make that in width? 4 metres.
Robert's work normally requires him to work with people who he either knows well or people he will never see again after working with them.
Dad, you called him Robert, but I've always known him as Bob. But yeah, he's one of the best carpenters I probably know, as in what we call first and second fix. He's very conscientious. He's a tightwad, but you know, that's what you get for working with a man like that. But yeah, he's very highly thought of around the building trade. He's always been very busy. I guess we all look at each other. We all want to do what the other person does. I fit mainly kitchens and bathrooms. Bob works on building sites, roofing, first and second fixing. When I'm fed up with what I'm doing, I want to go and do what he does, and when he's fed up, he wants to come and do what I do. But we always end up going back to what we both do.
At his work. Really spot on. Everything has to be spot on. You're going back to that's the only job I've really done with your dad, like together like that, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously I've worked on jobs where your dad has worked and I've worked doing my field and he does his. But I haven't actually seen your dad have any injuries when I've been around, you know? No, I think that's the main job I've worked with your dad on, was the roof at my place, which he done really, really nice, neat. We have a lot of laughs, you know, banter, which makes the day go by, doesn't it? And you have a bit of fun.
I think as a carpenter, I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best carpenters I've worked with, actually. He really does know his business, and he's very skilled. Don't tell him I said that.
Yeah, I turned them all round. Put the backing, obviously, it was not me. It was a freaking great club.
You'd find out, see?
Oh, right. And
Despite working with other people, what Robert does is up to him and his employer.
Of course, because he's self-employed, he doesn't get paid like PAYE people that get paid monthly. He obviously has to price up a job, and then obviously gets quotes in, and that is so sometimes can be difficult. And also on the economic climate at the moment, the recession. Touch wood, he has been lucky. But it is difficult in that type of way. Yes, it is. But he has managed to keep work basically because he travels. He doesn't stay local. He will travel for the work. Beautiful, isn't it?
Robert's work has his salary dependent of when he finishes a job. He cannot expect a weekly salary. To get paid, he must finish his job and do it to the employer's taste.
Yeah, that could be a bit stressy, a bit stressful. Over the years I've been lucky and not had any problems with it, but you can get people not paying you, etc. But yeah, it's obviously a lot more security if you had a job where it pays you by the month or the week. But you get used to it, I suppose. I've been doing it for long enough now.
Yeah, I turned them all round.
And in many cases, not everything goes according to plan.
Great clunk.
Didn't get that on the film, did you, George?
I did actually.
I thought you might.
There's a bloody great clunk. And
I did that to see if you'd find out, see?
Oh, right.
And one of the most powerful tools I use is a router, and the cutter in it goes round very, very fast and has a very powerful motor behind it. And when we were at college, you're always told you've got to wear your overalls and you've got to use sharp tools and don't have baggy clothes. So one day I'm working on a job and I'm on my own, and I've set up to cut with the router, and I've got a baggy jumper on.
When I was quite young, and a friend of mine started to put a flat roof on a garage, and couldn't finish it, so he asked me if I'd go in on the Saturday and finish it for him. So I said yes.
And I've leant over and I'm starting to cut the worktop that I'm doing, and the part of the jumper I was wearing got caught in the router cutter, and it was going so fast it started pulling me into it.
I went over there, went up on the roof, and stood on the joist. They weren't secured properly, and they toppled over, and I fell through, went onto the concrete floor below. As I was falling, I flipped myself over, and as I flipped, I caught my wrist and snapped it.
And then it flipped the router round, and then the cutter was now facing my stomach and coming towards me at full tilt, and it was as much as I could do to hold it until the thing stopped.
But it hurt, but I didn't realise I'd fractured it, and I carried on, spent the rest of the day, put all the roof up, started to drive home, and I couldn't change gear with that hand, this hand, left hand. And so I had to change gear with the right hand and try and steer and everything. Got home, it was so bad I phoned Jean up, my sister, and she took me to hospital, and they put it in plaster.
Because there was nobody there to help me, and if it had got me, I wouldn't have been here today telling you this story. And that was probably about the most frightening thing that's ever happened to me. So there you go.
It was that time when I hit my thumb with my hammer, and it hurts, and you get the blood blister underneath, and as you work, and you kind of forget about it a bit, but it's a bit painful. When you go to bed at night and it's going bang, bang, throbbing with that blood, and I just could not sleep. So about 3 o'clock in the morning I got up, came in here into the shed, got my drill out with a little fine drill bit in it, and drilled my thumb now to relieve the pressure, which it did. It was brilliant. The pressure, when it goes, it's fantastic. And I went back to bed and I slept like a log, but I did often wonder what people would think if they saw me walking out here at 3 in the morning in my dressing gown with a face like thunder, and 5 minutes later walking out elated that I've got rid of this pain. Yeah, so that was probably the funniest one. But yeah, that's about it. Not had any, touch wood, haven't had any real bad ones, but a few little ones,
amongst all the hardships, there is always time for celebration. Here, Robert celebrates his 50th birthday with his friends and family.
Hello everybody! Are you listening? See everybody. I can see Matthew's looking at me saying, please Dad, don't do this, please. Just like it's fantastic to see everybody out tonight, even the drunk ones. And, that's where we get. Enjoy the evening, over the pool. Thank you.
I don't know what to say, but I always leave it up to you, don't I? As you're older. Bloody. Thank you everyone for coming. And Marshy singing happy birthday. Oh, I don't know what to say, I really don't. Cheers, get your hair cut. I'll give you back the bowl quickly.
Enjoy the evening, thank you.
Big round of applause and a cheer. That's it. Now, as is traditional at these kind of events, the two birthday boys would like you to sing happy birthday to them. So on the count of three, everybody, could you just sing happy birthday? And it's Bob and Paul when you get to the name bit. Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Ladies and gentlemen, big cheer for the boys.
It was the right choice for him. He's been a very good, hard worker. Ever since he left school, he's worked very hard to achieve where he is today. He's always been a very good and loving son. Not much more I can say about him, really. He's just been brilliant to me, anyhow. Never had any problems with him whatsoever.
Now, Robert came along, my third child, and like for he was born in a storm, a snowstorm, which might tell you something, I don't know. I know I went on the way to Sackery Merton from Thorncroft Road to visit his mum and him in hospital. But I only got halfway across the rubble. The snow drifts were something like 6 foot high, and I would have needed a St Bernard if I'd have carried on any further. What can I say? He was a good baby and was a good boy. I didn't have any problems with him. He went through his school life quite happily, joining in, made lots of friends. I wouldn't have said he was particularly academic, but he was average. And when it come to leaving school, he asked if I could help him. And my mate had a carpentry business. So I probably went round to see him and asked. He said, Ted, I'll take Bob on, but I cannot take him on as an apprentice. but he will learn the whole job right from start to finish. And so he duly started with my friend Brian Wesson. I don't think after a year or so that Bob particularly got on well with Brian, but he did get on well with his partner. And although Bob won't have much of a good word to say against Brian, it was Brian that gave him the job and started him off. So, and he's always been a good friend to me. So anyway, that part of it was, like I said, an episode in Bob's life where he did go through the whole trade and did turn out, as you know now, a very good chippy.
Bob was a person, very kind, very, very caring, and a very gentle-natured person. As far as work is concerned, he's an absolute perfectionist at what he does. Completely revamped this house and enjoys the work, enjoys the challenge of the work. And really, as I said before, an absolute perfectionist in what he does.
Well, he obviously has, because he's been very successful and he's done okay in life, so I think, yes, he has made the right decision.
Dad being a carpenter is helpful, because when there's something around the house that needs fixing, well, he can just do it himself without having to call someone, and seeing as he's got skills he can teach them to us in case we want to become a carpenter.
I've known Bob since I was in my 20s, and I've always known that he's a carpenter. He works hard. It's a very physical job, and it's very tiring. But on the plus side, can be quite varied. He's worked on roofs, kitchens, and he's very artistic in that sort of way, and he's very, very good at his job. People always love his work, and he's always recommended. It's also been it's very, very good because he's done lots of stuff around the house, which is obviously really good because you can put your own personal touch on it, and it saved a lot of money as well. So it's been really good. I think it's a good career to have, and he's enjoyed it.
It's been a good career. I mean, it's served me well. It's put a roof over our head, and we've had a fairly comfortable lifestyle with it. And if I had to choose a trade again, I wouldn't choose a different trade. I'd go for the same one. Overall, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
What he is what he is, and what he is probably one of the best things that he could do as a person, and one of the best things he could do for his family, really. He can build things. That's what he does. He builds things, and he's not just with wood. He's built this family. He's built this family as he's gotten to what he is now, 50 years old, and he's built this family, and we are a family, and he's been able to build things that have extremely strong foundations, and that's no exception, and that is my dad.